Hello everybody. This video is going to be about Jetstream Finale Controller for the Elgato Stream Deck. And it's an incredible program. First of all, I have a video coming out on me reviewing the Stream Deck. Check that out. I also have a video coming up about my Logic Pro X profile for the Stream Deck. But this video is going to be about the Jetstream Finale Controller, which is a plugin for the Stream Deck which integrates it with Finale, the notation software. I use a Mac, so I'm not sure about how this will apply to Windows users or how Keyboard Maestro works with the Windows software. But if you're someone who uses Finale on a Mac and you have Keyboard Maestro, you have just bought a Stream Deck and you're ready to use the Jetstream controller for Finale, maybe you have been in a position like me where I was exactly like that. I got the Stream Deck, I downloaded the Jetstream Finale controller, I'm ready to see what it can do, and some of the features worked, but some of them did not. And I believe in my case it was because, basically speaking, the main things would work. So things like note entry would work, note input, because you could basically, if we go on to the thing here, like just hotkey, numpad 4. So it's just something that you can simply type in a basic keyboard hotkey and it just goes directly to that. However, for things like, I couldn't get dynamics to work. If we go to dynamics, here's the Applescript, but basically for anything that required like an Applescript function, I couldn't get it to work, and I'm not sure why. Basically how this whole setup works is that it's the Jetstream Finale controller basically brings up JW LUA, and it runs through there, and that's how it can run a whole bunch of these complicated scripts that make things a lot more streamlined and fast. But this is how the thing works. It's basically, they scripted a whole thing, and for each parameter they gave it like a number to run on, right? So actually I can show you this right now. So this is the setup that I have. This is what I'm going to be showing you guys what you can do. Now once again, they might be coming up with a fix for some people who are having trouble. It could be just a simple thing where maybe the file paths are in the wrong place. It could be a thing where maybe I'm just an idiot and I couldn't figure out how to get it to work correctly the first time. But for whatever reason, if you are finding that you can't get the Jetstream controller to do any of the things that require the Applescripts to run, that's what this video can help you with. Basically, this is how this Jetstream controller runs, right? So they've scripted this thing to where JW has a whole list of these different things that they've scripted, all these different Applescripts. Basically, JW LUA will select the script number and then run it, right? So, you know, up here you have your dynamic through articulation, mallet things, bar length, all sorts of good stuff here. Now, the Jetstream controller should be just directly doing that with no fuss, one press of the button and it should work. But for some reason, for me, the Applescript thing didn't work. So what do I do, right? Well, so originally was able to find out, oh, okay, so it brings up the thing. So if you really don't care about the programming and everything that much, you can simply, I'll show you how to do this in a second, get Keyboard Maestro to open this prompt, and then you could look at the Lua numbers file that they send to you when you download the Jetstream controller, and you could go in and you could type in what you wanted to enter, and then that way. But I wanted to actually get the full experience of the Jetstream Finale controller, so I wanted to get a whole bunch of these scripts plugged into their individual buttons. So let me look here quickly at what I've done on Keyboard Maestro. When you download the Jetstream thing, it comes with, well, you actually have to download the specific thing for Keyboard Maestro, where it gives you all the lists of the different things. And it'll give you all of these different folders with the specific scripts that you can find within the program. Now, what I had done is found out that if I make a certain Lua script, I guess if you want to call it, so I made one to plugins, JW plugins, Lua. I call it the Jetstream subroutine. So basically what you want to do with this thing, right, is you're going to go on, let me just do it kind of from scratch here. So I'm going to make a new macro, right? And the cool thing about this, when using it with Stream Deck, usually with a hotkey, you actually have to program a specific button for it to operate that way. But the cool thing about doing this with JW LUA is that although it is a program for assigning things to certain hotkeys, when it's integrated with the Stream Deck, you don't have to actually assign it a hotkey trigger. You can just skip this. But anyway, so that's really cool. So it tells the Stream Deck tells Keyboard Maestro basically, look, you don't need a hotkey because they're going to press a button with this thing that you've programmed. So, well, first of all, like whenever you make a new set of folders, like you're going to want to make a macro group, right? And it's going to only be able to open in Finale. So first thing that I did when actually starting to program everything in, is that I made I think you would actually have to assign a keyboard macro for this, but basically when you're in Finale, I made this so that when I press a button here, this displayed Lua number, it would show the numbers of the script there. So if I press this, right, it brings up those numbers again. And that's going to be useful for you when you start actually programming things into Keyboard Maestro to put into Stream Deck. When you download the Jetstream Controller, they'll send you the file, and one of the things that includes is this text document with the thing. So then I had that, basically, I put that within a macro that opens up in Finale, and then I gave it some random hotkey, and then I told it to do the following actions. So basically, when you have Keyboard Maestro, it has this kind of thing where it opens up certain actions that you can do. So some of them are over here. You can see various types of things that you can do. One of them is open, and then open a file, folder, application, and then it opens. So I programmed that to open the Lua numbers. Okay, so now I'm going to go back here because we don't need that. Now the Lua prompt, right? It's something that I called the Jetstream subroutine. So which is, it opens up Finale, it goes to the menu, it goes to the plugins menu, JW plugins, Lua, Jetstream Finale Controller. Here's the next thing. Okay, so the first things first. You're going to need to get something called KM Link, and it's such a great thing. So KM Link. Well, I have the pictures of it. I'll show the pictures of KW Link and where you're going to need to go to download it. It's a plugin for the Stream Deck, and basically what it does is it makes Keyboard Maestro program directly kind of interface with Stream Deck. And see, if I have like a regular hotkey here, it just says click to assign a hotkey. But with a KW Link, and it will show, like once you install it, it will show up in the custom section of your Stream Deck. And you'll see that every kind of macro that I have on here is listed right within a selectable menu within the Stream Deck. Amazing. It's awesome. So anyways, what you're going to need to do then, once you've downloaded CamLink, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to make a macro to display the Lua numbers text sheet, and one to bring up the Lua prompt. because what you're going to do then is now we can actually start programming the various things within our Stream Deck Current Profile. One of the things you're going to want to do is actually go between your custom control profile. Sorry, my dog is moving around. And your original Stream Deck controller thing. Because there are actually, like I said, a lot of those things that are still functioning on a basic hotkey basis. So you don't need to reprogram any of that stuff. So you can simply just kind of right click, copy, go to your custom control area, and then you can just kind of paste it in any kind of blank thing there, and then it'll put the whole folder there. So you can save a lot of the work by the stuff that is already working properly. Now, for all of the scripted stuff, right? So maybe one thing you're just going to want to do is kind of just start organizing it. So you're going to want to make folders, right? Create folder, like, maybe you want this to be your dynamics folder, and then within that, all the functions, right? So on my particular one, right, let's see, dynamic entry. So once again, I copied the folder, and then basically what would happen is I would use that folder as a reference of, okay, here's all the things that I need to reprogram, right? So let's start off basically with the dynamics, right? Here is that list, right? So the first thing, 0001 is a quadruple forte, so a fortissimo start. Basically what I did is, now if you look at the original file, it has, select Jetstream Controller, kind of the same thing that I had before. But I don't know, for some reason, this thing wouldn't work with it. So I basically made duplicates of these with my own kind of settings. So what I would do is I copy all of these, put it into a new macro folder, Finale Dynamics. I named them, whatever I needed to name them. And then instead I have it doing my Jetstream subroutine, which I showed you before. Insert text by typing, and then return. So you can either have it have just entering the keystroke return, or you can have it just have the thing, like it said before, where it says button, okay. So I'll show you the actions. So what you can do is you can drag, let's say I can go, here's the Lua prompt, right? The thing where it says execute Jetstream routine. So what I can do is I can drag that in and it'll do it. And then the other actions that you'll need is the insert text, because what this will do is this will enter the 4-digit codes in that little prompt that comes up whenever it opens up the JW LUA Jetstream Controller thing. And so you can, on actions here, we can have it text, type, by insert text by pasting or typing. It doesn't really make a difference. Drag that over here, type in the individual 4-digit code, and then have it either type the return thing, or maybe it might have it press a button, and then it'll like press a button, okay. So you can either have it do keystroke return or have it press the okay button. It's the same. So basically for any of these macros that you're going to do on Keyboard Maestro, you are going to drag in this Lua prompt that we made earlier. You're going to make it type in the text of all of these, different things, and then have it turn the keystroke. And like I said, the cool thing about doing this with KM Link is that if we go here and all my Finale things, look at the macro used, none. I don't have to program in a keyboard macro or a hotkey. I don't have to do that because, once again, it brings it up within this menu within Stream Deck due to the KM Link thing. And so yeah, so you're just going to use that process again and again to where once you've built kind of the overlay that you want, once you've kind of made this, okay, like I want this one to be just all smart shape stuff. I want this one just to be all this. Basically, for some of the main things, what I did for like the icons, I just screenshotted them from the original thing. I just screenshotted them, and then when it came time to put it on there, I just from here you can basically set from file, and it will open up like any kind of image that you've saved. So for a lot of the things, I screenshotted some of the images on the original thing, and I just pasted them within the own folders I made. But yeah, and then once you've got everything laid out the way you want it, and you finished doing all of these kind of programming the different Keyboard Maestro macros. So remember, it's just you're gonna make sure that all the folders, all your macro groups open up Finale, and that all of these things are doing what I call the Lua prompt, which opens up the thing that lets the computer type in the code, insert text, the 4-digit code number, press button OK or enter. And then once you've got everything programmed once you have all your macros made within Keyboard Maestro via KM Link, you're just going to, again, drag a KM Link thing in there and then select which macro that you want. And just to show you that this works here, so here's my layout right now. I'm going to go to Tools. Actually, let me just go to No Input. Oh, yeah. Also, when doing this, if you have on your profiles, right, edit profile, Stream Deck Current, because my original Finale controller just wasn't working, I made this the default Finale profile, okay? And so basically, when you connect something to a profile in Stream Deck, once you close the window, it's still working for that application in the background. I have it up though because, obviously I'm making this video. Now you can see here, if I drag in my tool thing, that I pressed it, now I'm on speedy entry, right? And so now I'm just gonna go, it's in the background here, see that I have speedy entry thing loaded up, but now I'm bringing this front again. Okay, I'm on speedy entry. Let me just do something so that it's in the screen right here. I'm just gonna do 4, great, whatever. So now let's say I want to make these have a slur. I'm gonna go into my smart shapes thing that I programmed. Whoops, let me drag that over. For now, when using this in Finale, you gotta make sure you have to select everything for whatever you're trying to do. So I have that selected. I'm gonna press the button. There. So how did this work? It's because, look, I have my specific Keyboard Maestro macro via KM Link tells Stream Deck to run this macro, and it's the macro that I've plugged in. I'll show you. It's smart shapes. So once again, this is what we programmed. Lua prompt, typing in text, the 4-digit code, presses return, and then we can select it via KM Link. You would just click here, select it, and then now I have it on Finale itself. Now, if you do not feel like actually doing all of this work yourself, I have uploaded various application profiles for the Stream Deck onto my Patreon. So for the lowest tier, just $1, that gives you access to all of these Stream Deck profiles that I have programmed. I have ones for this, obviously, for the Finale. This profile that you see right here, I have uploaded that to my Patreon for you to download, become a patron, so you can just skip all of this as long as you have Keyboard Maestro. And I will, that reminds me, I actually need to upload all the different Keyboard Maestro macros so that you could put that into your Keyboard Maestro program. So I will do that within the next day or so. Once you have those Keyboard Maestro macros downloaded from the link I'll provide, you can then download from my Patreon as well the profile, and as long as you have KM Link installed onto your thing, and as long as you have the macros that I'll also provide, Stream Deck should just, boom, automatically know what to do. And then you don't have to do any of the programming or anything like that. But like I was saying, I'll have one for Finale. I'm going to do a video about my setup for Logic. I have ones for Photoshop and Premiere Pro as well. Those ones are for the PC though, as I don't use those on my Mac. I will also have ones for things like Google Slides and Google Docs. A lot of cool things. I love the Stream Deck. The Jetstream Finale Controller is awesome. I just, it just was released like a few weeks ago, so I'm sure it's just some little things. I don't think this is a huge problem. I think most people are probably using the program fine and it's not an issue, but if you're like me, where for some reason the Applescripts just didn't want to run, this is the workaround I've created, and this is how you would go about manually doing it. And like I said, if you don't want to manually do it, please consider becoming a patron of mine on Patreon, and then you can just have access to everything that I've done right here. So, any case, have a good day. Stay